Aristotle's notion of humans as social animals prompts us to explore what sets us apart in our social interactions. Unlike other social creatures, human interactions are influenced by complex societal factors. Social psychology delves into these dynamics, seeking scientific understanding of how we can enhance human social life. Through examining instances like peer pressure and societal expectations, discover what it truly means to be social in the human context. Social influence affects everything from personal preferences to decision-making. Whether it's a student changing their opinion based on peer consensus or a consumer swayed by a celebrity endorsement, social influence is omnipresent. Explore how societal norms, peer pressure, and media shape our judgments and actions, often unbeknownst to us. Understanding these influences can help us navigate our own reactions and the behaviors of those around us. The viral nature of conspiracy theories highlights the persuasive power of misinformation. Through the lens of dramatic events like the Comet ping-pong incident, uncover why people cling to false narratives despite contrary evidence. This section explores psychological factors like confirmation bias and fear-mongering that entrench such beliefs, illustrating the complexity of the human psyche and its susceptibility to external influences. Social psychology sheds light on how prejudices form, examining societal and psychological roots of racism. Explore how stereotypes are perpetuated by media and personal bias, affecting even daily interactions like shopping while black. Understanding racist attitudes involves comprehending both overt and covert social influences and recognizing the role of historical and cultural contexts in shaping beliefs and actions. The need for social acceptance drives conformity in group settings, influencing behaviors often unconsciously. Whether in traffic behavior or school settings, individuals are prone to conform to group norms, sometimes to the point of acting against personal beliefs. This section reveals how group dynamics promote conformity, highlighting the significant impact of peer presence and societal expectations on individual choices. Hindsight bias exemplifies the challenge of understanding events only with the benefit of hindsight. We often overestimate our ability to predict outcomes, only recognizing obvious results after the fact. Through exploring studies and real-world examples, this section aims to challenge the hindsight bias, encouraging a more analytical view of past events to improve future decision-making processes. Social psychology research frequently dispels popular assumptions. For instance, minor threats often deter undesirable behavior more effectively than severe punishment. By employing controlled experiments, social psychologists reveal nuances in human behavior that contradict conventional beliefs. Discover how these research findings inform our understanding of behaviors, from compliance to interpersonal liking, providing a more nuanced view of human actions. Rather than attributing actions purely to personality traits, social psychology examines the situational influences that dictate behavior. Events like the Jonestown Massacre illustrate how environmental factors can lead ordinary people to perform extraordinary acts. This perspective underscores the importance of context in interpreting behaviors, reminding us that even seemingly irrational actions can have logical roots within particular situations. In medieval Europe, public health suffered due to unchecked beliefs and practices. Despite access to advanced Roman plumbing, people abandoned their sanitation systems, partly due to superstitions around bathing. This historical example highlights how beliefs can exacerbate public health crises. Today, similar skepticism persists around scientifically substantiated issues such as climate change and vaccines. These attitudes not only hinder progress, but also reflect broader cognitive processes where people resist evidence that contradicts their beliefs. Our cognitive development, suited for small group societies, can backfire in today's intricate world, leading to biases. Initially thought to be perfectly rational, human thinking often relies on shortcuts due to limited information or time. Jeremy Bentham's ideas about rationality serve as a historic counterpoint. Our cognitive biases, such as assuming oneself less biased or believing in one's perspective as absolute, dominate our interactions, echoing past failures in reasoning and potentially fostering divisions or misunderstandings. Numerous biases color human perception and social interaction. The bias blind spot and naive realism are hurdles in understanding opposing viewpoints, perpetuating political polarization. Confirmation and egocentric biases demonstrate how personal beliefs filter information intake, reinforcing established views. These cognitive processes often position individuals at the center of their universe, skewing their perception of attention and significance. Our brain employs heuristics, mental shortcuts, to navigate decision-making amidst complexity. These shortcuts, while time-saving, can mislead. The representativeness heuristic overemphasizes superficial similarities, and the availability heuristic focuses on readily available memories, distorting frequency perceptions. Emotional involvement heightens these effects. Despite their pitfalls, awareness and scrutiny of heuristics can bolster decision-making by countering their innate biases. Memory, often perceived as a reliable recounting of our experiences, is malleable and susceptible to influence. Cognitive psychologist Elizabeth Loftus's research uncovers how memories can be distorted, sometimes involuntarily. Eyewitness accounts, for example, can alter based on the wording of questions, demonstrating our tendency to reshape memories to fit narratives that align with current beliefs. This fluidity of memory has critical implications in legal settings and personal identity formation. Emotions play a central role in shaping our judgments, with the affect heuristic exemplifying this influence. Emotional responses expedite decision-making, though they aren't always rational. They can bolster confidence in memory, though this confidence often doesn't reflect memory accuracy. This emotional sway highlights the balancing act required to make sound decisions, emphasizing the need for emotional regulation in critical thinking. Humans are inherently social creatures, driven by the need to belong and socialize. These evolutionary traits, beneficial in small groups, can spur divisive us versus them thinking in larger societies, igniting biases and conflicts. Understanding these instincts provides insight into societal interactions and can guide efforts to mitigate hostility and foster collaboration. Evolutionary psychology offers a framework for understanding human behaviors through their historical contexts. Our cognitive mechanisms are remnants of our ancestors' adaptation to survival, influencing modern social structures and biases. Acknowledging our hunter-gatherer mind helps decode present-day social issues and paves the way for developing strategies to overcome instinct-driven biases. The concept of self-fulfilling prophecies describes how initial expectations can influence outcomes. This phenomenon illustrates the powerful role of perception in behavior and interaction, where expectations set by oneself or others can lead to actions that align with those initial beliefs, regardless of their original validity. This reinforces the importance of positive reinforcement and setting constructive expectations. By recognizing and understanding our biases, we can actively work towards mitigating their impact. Education about cognitive biases and their effects can enhance decision-making processes and interpersonal relationships. Awareness empowers individuals to challenge their assumptions, fostering open-mindedness and adaptability to future challenges, ultimately contributing to a more rational and connected society. Cognitive dissonance occurs when people hold opposing beliefs or when their actions don't match their self-image. This mental conflict leads to discomfort, which people feel compelled to reduce by changing their beliefs, attitudes, or behaviors. For instance, if someone acts against their moral principles, they might adjust their perception of the action or its consequences to maintain a positive self-concept. This phenomenon plays a crucial role in preserving self-esteem and can result in irrational justifications for one's actions. Understanding cognitive dissonance is vital, as it can lead to significant personal insights or costly mistakes. Significant decisions, particularly those difficult or irreversible, often trigger cognitive dissonance. People strive to justify their choices to convince themselves they acted wisely. This justification is evident in various contexts, from large purchases like cars to life decisions and political endorsements. Even when confronted with evidence challenging their beliefs, individuals may resist changing their views if it risks their self-perception. Hence, self-justification is a robust mechanism that aids in preserving a stable self-image. though it can sometimes prevent personal growth or acknowledgement of errors. Cognitive dissonance plays a significant role in behavior change. For example, smokers might struggle to quit as they justify continuing despite health risks. However, the success of behavior change often depends on the justifications used. Internal justification, such as adapting one's beliefs, can lead to lasting change, while external justification, like financial incentives, might only result in temporary compliance. Studies show that mild punishments and minimal incentives are more effective in encouraging true attitude shifts than severe reprimands. This understanding is crucial for developing effective behavior modification strategies across various areas. While cognitive dissonance is a universal phenomenon, its expression varies across cultures and individuals. Cultural norms influence how people resolve dissonance and the significance they attach to personal beliefs. Individual differences, such as personality traits, also modulate the intensity and outcomes of dissonance experiences. Understanding these variations can offer deeper insights into interpersonal relationships and how different groups perceive and adjust to cognitive conflicts. Globally, the need to protect self-concept highlights the universality of cognitive dissonance, shaping behavior and beliefs in diverse ways. In crisis situations, like natural disasters or inevitable personal interactions, cognitive dissonance helps people cope by focusing on positives to alleviate anxiety. While this can be beneficial for minor stressors, it may be detrimental in ignoring significant threats, like earthquake preparedness or global warming. Successful mitigation of such situations often relies on individuals' belief in their ability to influence outcomes. For example, empowering communities with knowledge and resources can enhance preparedness and response, emphasizing the complex interplay between cognitive dissonance and effective crisis management. Leaders are not immune to cognitive dissonance, which can profoundly influence political decisions. Historical examples, such as the Vietnam War and the Iraq War, demonstrate how leaders justified escalating conflicts despite contrary evidence, driven by a need to align their actions with internal beliefs. This tendency to rationalize decisions post hoc can hinder critical reflection and learning from past mistakes. Encouraging leaders to seek unbiased advice and remain open to reassessment can mitigate the adverse effects of dissonance in governance, promoting more rational and informed decision-making. The Jonestown Massacre illustrates how cognitive dissonance can lead to extreme behavior changes. Initially small commitments to a cause can escalate to significant actions under charismatic leadership, as seen with Jim Jones and his followers. This reflects how cognitive dissonance can drive people to rationalize dramatic actions to remain consistent with their accepted beliefs and group norms. Understanding this progression helps prevent similar occurrences by identifying early signs of dangerous group dynamics and fostering environments where individuals can safely question and adjust their beliefs. Addressing cognitive dissonance in daily life involves acknowledging conflicting beliefs and behaviors. Personal growth often requires confronting these conflicts rather than rationalizing them away. Practices like seeking feedback from unbiased sources or engaging in self-reflection can help resolve dissonance healthily. This approach not only supports better personal decision-making, but also enhances relationships by reducing defensiveness in conflicts. By cultivating an openness to change and learning, individuals can harness the power of cognitive dissonance to foster resilience, adaptability, and overall well-being. Understanding cognitive dissonance can inform strategies to influence public behavior positively. Campaigns focusing on self-awareness, such as those increasing condom use or water conservation, leverage dissonance to align actions with beliefs. The hypocrisy paradigm, which emphasizes this alignment, demonstrates how individuals are more likely to adopt sustainable behaviors when they recognize and resolve internal conflicts. Effective public health and environmental campaigns often rely on this principle to drive lasting change by creating awareness and encouraging self-regulation. While cognitive dissonance can lead to irrational behaviors, embracing it allows individuals and societies to learn and grow. Acknowledging dissonance as an inherent part of human psychology encourages constructive self-questioning and ethical considerations in decision-making. Leaders and individuals who recognize their dissonance-related biases are better equipped to adapt, innovate, and navigate complex challenges. By fostering environments that welcome feedback and change, cognitive dissonance can be transformed from a source of discomfort into a catalyst for progress and improvement. Conformity is an intricate social behavior influenced by the desire to fit in with a group or adhere to perceived norms. It manifests in various forms, from simple compliance with rules to deep-seated belief changes. While often seen through a negative lens, it serves both beneficial and detrimental roles depending on the context. For instance, conforming can help maintain societal harmony and coordination necessary for survival. Conversely, excessive conformity can lead to problematic groupthink, resulting in poor outcomes like those witnessed in controversial historical events such as Watergate and the Challenger disaster. Humans have a natural tendency to align with group behavior to avoid feeling out of place. Social psychologist Solomon Asch's experiments highlight how individuals conform to a group's incorrect judgment in clear situations. The pressure to conform can be informational, seeking accurate information, or normative, driven by the wish to fit in. Notably, fear of exclusion often outweighs the need for correct information. Factors affecting conformity include the number of conforming members, the group's perceived authority, presence of allies, prior beliefs, self-esteem, and potential scrutiny. Conformity peaks in close-knit or highly surveilled groups. Cultural depictions reveal a dual view of conformity. In American culture, individualism is celebrated, often contrasting with the negative portrayal of conformity. Stories like James Thurber's about people reacting to rumors of a dam breaking highlight how quickly conformity can spread under duress. Despite the negative connotations, conformity is crucial for societal functioning, promoting order and trust. It has been integral throughout history to human survival. Yet, fostering environments that encourage critical thinking over blind adherence can mitigate its adverse aspects and enhance societal progress. The bystander effect demonstrates a startling aspect of conformity: reduced intervention in emergencies when others are present. This phenomenon, like in the infamous Kitty Genovese case, emerges from what psychologists term pluralistic ignorance. People incorrectly deduce that others' inaction indicates a consensus that no action is necessary, leading to tragic outcomes in public emergencies. Understanding these dynamics can help design interventions and educational campaigns that encourage proactive behavior in such situations, ensuring people do not blindly follow the inaction of those around them. Stanley Milgram's experiments underscored the peril of conformity, illustrating how ordinary individuals could inflict harm when following authoritative commands. Participants often continued actions against their morals due to authoritative pressure, paralleling situations like wrongful military orders. These findings reveal the balance psychologists must strike between ethical responsibility and research in intense topics like obedience and conformity. Despite the discomfort they may cause, such studies offer critical insights into human behavior, underscoring the importance of fostering environments that valorize scrutiny and individual ethical judgment over blind compliance. Social norms significantly shape behavior, as shown in studies on habits such as showering or littering. Conformity can occur through unconscious mimicry, like the chameleon effect, where individuals adjust behaviors to those around them. Effective behavior change strategies harness these norms to promote compliance without overt coercion. By highlighting desirable practices as the norm, communities can encourage sustainable behaviors, demonstrating that conformity can be leveraged positively to inspire collective change and promote beneficial societal habits, thereby reinforcing communal bonds and cooperation. When confronting conformity pressures, allies play a transformative role. Even a single ally can substantially reduce the pressure to conform, giving courage to dissenters. Historical figures like Sandra Day O'Connor demonstrate how allies can bolster confidence and affect change, as in her Supreme Court deliberations. The presence of supportive voices can shift majority perspectives by encouraging open dialogue and deeper consideration of issues. Advocates can challenge norms and drive progress, proving that change often begins with a few committed individuals standing together. Resistance to conformity fuels societal progress, exemplified by figures like Rosa Parks, Joseph Darby, and Mark Felt. Their actions teach us that standing against oppressive norms is not only difficult but necessary for justice and reform. When dissenting views are voiced with consistency and openness to dialogue, and when allies offer support and resilience, minority viewpoints can eventually prevail. These stories remind us that challenging conformist pressures can lead to meaningful change, and that each act of resistance builds a foundation for future transformations. Conformity and individuality can coexist, each playing a vital role in human social dynamics. Where conformity provides order, reliability, and common ground, individuality brings innovation, critical thinking, and progress. The challenge lies in finding the balance that allows both values to flourish. Societal structures, therefore, should cultivate environments that appreciate collective coherence while safeguarding the spaces for individual expression and dissent. This balance ensures that societies can thrive by adapting through collective norms while embracing the diversity and ingenuity that individuality contributes. Promoting positive conformity requires strategic initiatives that build on cooperative norms. Encouraging community-mindedness through social norms and providing platforms for diverse dialogue can harmonize social behavior with innovation and critique. Developing policies that value critical thinking, provide channels for dissent, and visibly reward constructive divergence can prevent the potential pitfalls of conformity while enjoying its benefits. Ultimately, an informed citizenry aware of conformity's dynamics can partake in shaping a future that embraces both social cohesion and individualistic progress. Mass communication has been revolutionized by technology, with the omnipresent nature of advertising attempting to steer our thoughts and actions. Unlike opinions, which are flexible and based on new information, attitudes contain deeper emotional undertones and are more resistant to change. Media today cleverly manipulates our feelings and perceptions through carefully curated emotional and moral appeals. The personalization of content, especially on smartphones, has transformed social dynamics and fostered a near addiction to digital interactions, echoing the randomness of gambling rewards. Understanding these distinctions is key to grasping why we might be swayed by commercials and other media influences. Persuasion can work its charm via two main routes, central and peripheral. The central route involves a deep and analytical approach, assessing the content of the argument itself. Conversely, the peripheral route relies on surface-level cues such as the attractiveness of the presenter or prevailing trends, bypassing thorough evaluation. This distinction is vital as it explains why some messages are temporary while others solidify in our minds. Success in persuasion often entails matching the route to the content and context, considering the intended longevity of the message. A communicator's influence significantly hinges on perceived credibility. Trustworthy figures who challenge their own interests or don't appear pushy in their persuasion efforts tend to be more convincing. Impressions of credibility amplify when high credibility figures have sharply contrasting views to the audience's beliefs. This mismatch can jolt audiences into reconsidering their standings, making the gap a pivotal factor in persuasion dynamics. Credibility is also a tool for easing audiences into radical ideas by leveraging the respect and trust they harbor for the speaker. Emotional and moral appeals tap into fundamental human instincts, making them potent tools for persuasion. Messages that spotlight immediate dangers or leverage identity-related themes tend to resonate deeply, triggering ancestral survival instincts. Messaging strategies often employ fear to spark change, paired with clear action paths to stave off immobilization. Yet, overbearing fear can stifle response, highlighting the delicate balance necessary when crafting impactful messages. Understanding our evolutionary tendencies can empower audiences to discern and resist undue influence. Effective persuasion is grounded in the alignment or challenge of a person's identity and self-perceptions. Strategies that harmonize with or provoke individual beliefs can deeply impact receptivity. Disrupting core aspects of identity may trigger resistance, emphasizing the need to consider audience characteristics when delivering messages. Realizing that persuasion intertwines so intimately with personal identity, offers a lens through which we can better anticipate how messages will be received, depending on how they affirm or undermine self-concepts. An individual's self-esteem plays a crucial role in their susceptibility to persuasion. People with lower self-esteem often question their beliefs and are thus more open to external influences. In contrast, those with higher self-esteem exhibit greater resistance, especially when facing propositions from credible sources. This duality highlights the personalization necessary in persuasive efforts. Understanding how self-esteem affects openness to change allows for more targeted and effective communication strategies. Political ideologies sculpt how content is perceived, with conservatives and liberals demonstrating distinct cognitive styles. Conservatives often gravitate towards the familiar and consistent, while liberals exhibit a preference for novelty and diversity. These differing perspectives affect not only their receptivity to messages, but also their persistence in beliefs. Appreciating these ideological distinctions helps in crafting messages that resonate, identifying how beliefs act as filters through which persuasive attempts must pass. The environment in which persuasion occurs plays a pivotal role. Communicators who set a positive mood or strategically guide initial focus can steer recipients towards agreement. In contrast, overtly aggressive persuasion can provoke defensive stances due to reactance, where people vehemently resist perceived intrusions on their autonomy. Techniques that apply subtle influence and avoid triggering defensiveness are often more successful, underscoring the importance of context and timing in delivering persuasive messages effectively. Exposure to diverse viewpoints is vital for profound learning and resilience against propaganda. Engaging with differing opinions not only expands understanding, but also fortifies personal beliefs. Debate and dialogue stand as pillars for challenging biases, prompting a healthy exchange of ideas. The push for free inquiry, instead of selective censorship, reflects an educational ethos where the exploration of varying ideas fosters critical thought and mitigates simplistic narrations. Encouraging open conversation can thus serve as a buffer against attempts to oversimplify complex matters. Education aims to cultivate critical thinking, preparing individuals to navigate and dissect the myriad of persuasive communications encountered daily. Encouraging intellectual curiosity and debate empowers students to resist superficial arguments and understand deeper ideological nuances. Lessons learned through open discourse enable a robust comprehension that challenges simplistic propaganda. By fostering an environment where complex issues can be freely discussed, even uncomfortably, education lays the groundwork for informed and perceptive individuals, better equipped to discern and respond to persuasion. Aggression is commonly characterized as actions intended to induce harm or pain, whether physically or psychologically. This concept is not purely human. It permeates the animal kingdom as well. Chimpanzees, for example, show naturally aggressive tendencies, whereas bonobos reflect how social structures can curb aggressive impulses. Complex and multifaceted, human aggression can be traced to both innate drives and environmental influences. Through historical events like wars and societal desensitization to violence, aggression emerges as a recurrent challenge. Despite this, individuals across cultures can exhibit cooperative friendliness, challenging the notion that aggression is a fixed trait. This duality in behavior points to the significant role of cultural circumstances and individual learning. Human history is tainted with aggression, from wars to genocide, which contributes to societal desensitization. Such events have normalized violence, making it seem inherent in human nature. Yet cultures differ in their acceptance and expression of aggression. For instance, herding societies that value honor might foster more aggressive self-defense strategies. Moreover, external conditions such as economic hardship or cultural norms can further shape aggressive behaviors. Through this lens, aggression is depicted as a byproduct of both environmental conditions and societal norms, rather than a purely biological inevitability. Gender differences in aggression aren't just stereotypes. They reflect variances in expression forms. Men typically engage in more visible, physical aggression, while women may express aggression through social exclusion or relational dynamics. This isn't to say one gender is more aggressive than the other. Rather, their contexts and social roles often dictate how aggression is manifested. These differences underline the importance of understanding aggression through a nuanced lens, considering societal expectations and personal experiences, which frame individuals' responses and behaviors. Aggressive behavior can be triggered or amplified by various psychological and environmental elements. Substances like alcohol lower inhibitions and can heighten aggressive reactions. Similarly, situational factors such as heat or discomfort can escalate aggression. Social rejection has been linked to extreme acts like school shootings, emphasizing aggression's complexity. Recognizing these elements helps in understanding when and why aggression might occur, offering pathways to diffuse potentially volatile situations. By identifying triggers, individuals and societies can work towards interventions tailored to mitigate aggression. Media consumption profoundly affects how aggression is understood and replicated. Exposure to violence in media can ingrain aggressive behaviors, particularly if these actions are rewarded on screen. Meanwhile, the media also plays a role in desensitizing individuals to real-world violence, reducing their empathetic responses toward victims. Fear, emboldened by media portrayals, further compounds aggression by fostering a defensive mindset among viewers. However, by acknowledging these influences, societies can pursue media literacy and consumption that promote healthier behavioral models, steering individuals away from aggression. Aggression is not solely an instinctive reaction, but a learned behavior, often acquired through observation and imitation. Social learning theory posits that individuals model behaviors observed from others, especially when such actions are rewarded or go unpunished. The environment plays a crucial role. Children surrounded by aggressive models are more likely to emulate similar behaviors. Yet, by creating environments that promote positive behaviors, societies can teach empathy and cooperation, rerouting aggression to more constructive channels. The challenge lies in fostering settings that reward compassion and discourage harmful behaviors. Traditional punitive threats, although often used to curb aggression in children, can backfire long-term. Severe punishment may inadvertently teach children that violence is an appropriate reaction to frustration. Research suggests that mild punishments, allowing internal moral alignment without external justification, can cultivate non-aggressive values. By developing self-justifications for restraint, children naturally gravitate towards less aggressive behaviors. This paradigm shift underscores the importance of formative influence in childhood, where nurturing environments and empathy training can effectively counteract learned aggression, fostering peaceful and cooperative social ties. Effective management of aggression in educational settings involves more than just punishment. It requires cultivating an empathetic and supportive atmosphere. Studies show that moderating sanctions can successfully reduce incidents like bullying. For instance, ignoring aggression while rewarding positive social interactions has demonstrated success in reshaping behavior. By emphasizing empathy and constructive behavior, children can be guided towards more harmonious interactions. This approach aligns with research highlighting the benefits of teaching empathy and moral reasoning, preparing students to navigate social conflicts peacefully and constructively. Empathy training and altruistic behaviors provide avenues for mitigating aggression. By encouraging individuals to consider others' perspectives, empathy reduces the likelihood of aggressive acts. Studies show that engaging in acts of kindness correlates with higher happiness and reduced aggression, suggesting that promoting altruism can enhance social cohesion. Mindfulness practices further support emotional regulation, minimizing impulsive responses. These findings advocate for integrating empathy, altruism, and mindfulness in education and community programs as powerful tools for cultivating non-aggressive societies, transforming potential conflicts into opportunities for growth and understanding. The cultural valorization of aggression often glorifies competitiveness at the expense of cooperation. However, modern society must shift towards empathy if it hopes to reduce aggressive tendencies. Encouraging empathetic values, fostering environments that prepend collaboration, and recalibrating societal norms challenge the traditional narrative of aggression as strength. Schools, communities, and media can play instrumental roles in this transition. promoting narratives that emphasize kinship and mutual understanding. By altering perceptions of strength from aggression to empathy, societies can work toward a more harmonious coexistence, reducing the prevalence of violence and fostering more profound connections. Prejudice remains a prevalent challenge in human societies, often driven by ingrained biases. Despite advancements like the election of Barack Obama, deep-seated racial and gender prejudices persist. These ingrained biases are partially linked to evolutionary instincts that categorize individuals into us versus them groups. Consequently, modern socio-political conditions can temporarily exacerbate such biases, with noticeable increases in hate groups observed post-Obama's election. Research highlights that prejudice, whether overt or covert, draws strength from societal norms and misinformation, leading to discriminatory actions. Recognizing the persistence of these biases is the first step towards tackling them through more inclusive practices. Thurgood Marshall's encounters with racial prejudice, notably in the South, reflect the entrenched racial hostility spanning decades. His experiences underscore how historical prejudices influence societal dynamics, often leading to extreme actions such as lynching. These events remind us that prejudice does not vanish quickly and can linger emotionally, even when defeated intellectually. Recent history further illustrates that racism and other forms of discrimination continue to haunt societies. Acknowledging the historical roots and ongoing impact of racial prejudice is essential in strategizing effective methods to combat it and promote inclusivity. Stereotypes serve as cognitive shortcuts that simplify and distort reality, often justifying prejudiced feelings. Despite being energy-saving, these assumptions can reinforce harmful biases and stereotypes, whether positive or negative, that significantly shape perceptions and behavior. For instance, stereotypes about women perpetuate gender discrimination, particularly in the workplace. Such biases can also lead to self-fulfilling prophecies, as individuals internalize negative stereotypes and sabotage their performance. Effective reduction of prejudice involves identifying and dismantling these stereotypes to cultivate a society that values diversity and inclusivity, treating stereotypes as targets for reform rather than reinforcement. Prejudice influences not just interpersonal relations, but also broader social structures. Discriminatory beliefs and actions ripple through communities, intensifying tensions and shaping societal narratives. The election of Barack Obama showcased both progress and the resurgence of racial biases, illustrating the complex layers of prejudice embedded within societal fabric. This serves as a potent reminder that combating prejudice requires concerted efforts both within individual communities and at a systemic level. Societal laws and norms must evolve to resist these deep-rooted biases, fostering environments where equality and justice preside over discrimination and hostility. The concept of stereotype threat reveals how fear of confirming negative group stereotypes can adversely impact individuals' performance, particularly in academic settings. When students are anxious about being judged through the lens of a harmful stereotype, their performance suffers, often reinforcing the very stereotype they fear. Understanding and addressing stereotype threat can help educators create supportive learning environments that buffer against these negative effects. By reducing the pressure of stereotypes, students can perform to their true potential, highlighting the importance of educational approaches that prioritize understanding and empathy over competition and bias. The Jigsaw classroom was developed to replace traditional competitive educational settings with collaborative learning environments. This approach places students in diverse groups where collaboration is key to learning and success. Initially, students may resist cooperative learning methods due to habitual competition. However, cooperating towards shared goals has been shown to improve communication, reduce prejudice, and build stronger interracial relationships. The Jigsaw approach shifts perceptions from us versus them to a collective we, fostering empathy and understanding. These settings demonstrate that structured cooperation paves the way for more harmonious and inclusive societies. Empathy plays a crucial role in reducing prejudice, enabling individuals to understand and respect different perspectives. The Jigsaw classroom enhances empathy by fostering cooperation and perspective-taking, core elements in reducing aggression and biases. By creating environments where empathy is nurtured, educational systems can significantly decrease racial bias and promote inclusivity. These empathetic engagements prove effective in shifting perceptions and establishing a societal framework that values diversity. Moving forward, expanding the use of empathy-driven frameworks offers a promising avenue for addressing even the most entrenched prejudices. Despite its proven benefits, the jigsaw classroom faces challenges in widespread implementation due to educational systems' resistance to change. Moving away from competitive frameworks requires a cultural shift within educational institutions to value cooperation and interdependence. Resistance stems from entrenched traditional views on pedagogy that prioritize individual achievement over collective success. Overcoming this resistance is essential for integrating cooperative learning across various educational settings. By showcasing success stories and demonstrating the tangible benefits of cooperation, advocates can push for change, utilizing diversity as a strength rather than a division. The global success of the jigsaw classroom illustrates that cooperation and empathy transcend cultural boundaries, enhancing mutual understanding and reducing racial prejudices. International applications of this approach highlight its adaptability, proving effective in diverse settings from America to Asia. These global implementations emphasize the universality of empathy and cooperation in bridging differences. In learning environments worldwide, fostering genuine collaboration reshapes educational experiences and societal interactions. As more regions embrace these methods, they serve as beacons of hope, showcasing how harmonious coexistence can be realized by transcending prejudice. The journey towards overcoming prejudice involves embracing diversity as an enrichment rather than a division. Encouraging structured cooperation and empathy-driven interactions can significantly undermine deep-seated biases. Initiatives like the jigsaw approach offer actionable paths to promoting inclusivity and harmony in communities. By prioritizing mutual understanding and respect, societies can rise above prejudiced inclinations, highlighting a future where diversity is celebrated. These efforts illuminate a hopeful path towards an inclusive society that thrives on cooperation, one that turns prejudice into a catalyst for global unity and shared prosperity. The love story of Annie Oakley and Frank Butler challenges typical perceptions of gender roles in relationships. While popular culture often portrays women needing to downplay their skills for male counterparts' approval, Annie and Frank's real-life relationship was one of mutual respect and encouragement. Frank supported Annie's remarkable shooting talent, demonstrating a progressive view of love. This story exemplifies how breaking away from traditional gender expectations can lead to more sincere and robust connections. Their partnership serves as a reminder of the evolving dynamics of love, proving that supporting each other's aspirations can strengthen relationships. A comprehensive Harvard study spanning over 75 years revealed that healthy relationships significantly contribute to happiness and longevity. It highlights the essential nature of feeling connected, transcending the traditional focus on marital or committed partnerships. Living a fulfilling life isn't exclusively tied to wedlock. The quality of relationships, even in singleness, profoundly affects well-being. This insight encourages a shift from stigmatizing singlehood to recognizing the varied forms of enriching human bonds. Eventually, it's the depth and positivity of our connections, not our social status, that determine happiness and can add years to our lives. Our attraction to others often hinges on proximity and shared interests. The likelihood of forming connections increases with geographical closeness, turning neighbors into friends or romantic interests. Moreover, people find similarity appealing, with shared beliefs and hobbies boosting attractiveness. However, attraction isn't purely physical. Qualities such as competence and the ability to accept imperfections also play a crucial role. Connection deepens when individuals embrace vulnerabilities, a phenomenon known as the pratfall effect. These dynamics reveal that underlying psychological factors are as significant as initial physical attraction in forming lasting bonds. Dale Carnegie's strategies for winning friends emphasize the importance of genuine appreciation and interest in others. Positive reinforcement can endear people, though excessive or inauthentic flattery may backfire. Authenticity is key. The power of favors lies in their sincerity. They should feel spontaneous, not transactional. Acts of kindness, when perceived as altruistic, strengthen relational ties. This approach sheds light on how building positive relations requires a balance of expressed appreciation and genuine engagement, demonstrating that real connections thrive on authenticity and mutual respect, rather than mere social niceties. Romantic love evolves, transitioning from passionate excitement to stable companionate love over time. Initial passion is fueled by novelty and adrenaline, but long-term relationships thrive on deep companionate love. This stable form of love is built on trust, mutual support, and shared experiences. Understanding attachment styles, secure or insecure, further unveils how love develops. Secure attachments, often rooted in positive childhood experiences, typically result in enduring and satisfying relationships. In contrast, insecure attachments can lead to turbulent connections unless addressed. This natural progression underscores that love's journey is both thrilling and deeply rewarding. Miscommunication can wreak havoc in relationships when insecurities remain unspoken. Take Phil and Alice, whose relationship struggles stemmed from misunderstood emotions leading to hostility. Addressing issues requires straight talk, a method of expressing feelings void of blame or judgment. Recognizing and articulating one's emotions fosters clarity and prevents conflicts from escalating. This approach enhances understanding and prevents unnecessary rifts. In the realm of personal relationships, honing the ability to communicate needs openly and considerately is pivotal. By embracing vulnerability, partners can navigate challenges collaboratively, cultivating a more harmonious connection. The gain-loss theory posits that people are drawn to those whose admiration for them increases over time. Conversely, diminishing interest can lead to disfavor. This principle highlights the importance of continuously nurturing affection and appreciation within relationships. Authentic expressions of admiration can significantly enhance connections, while perceived loss of interest might cause tension. Recognizing and reinforcing positive qualities in partners fosters a deeper and more enduring bond. Regularly sharing genuine admiration not only sustains but also enriches relationships, transforming the ordinary into something exceptional and endearing. In relationships, the porcupine's dilemma encapsulates the challenge of seeking closeness while guarding vulnerability. To successfully navigate this, partners must embrace authenticity, allowing for honest communication and the open expression of vulnerabilities. Addressing conflicts with empathy instead of hostility helps maintain a nurturing environment. Recognizing and dismantling destructive communication patterns such as criticism and defensiveness is crucial. Couples who manage to balance intimacy with vulnerability create robust connections. Authenticity in relationships allows partners to explore and embrace their true selves, resulting in stronger and more resilient bonds. The resilience of a relationship is tested during both triumphs and setbacks. Authentic connections are rooted in the mutual ability to support each other through life's ups and downs. Handling conflicts with empathy and understanding ensures that relationships remain robust. Acknowledging each other's successes builds mutual respect and admiration, reinforcing relational bonds. Conversely, navigating adversities together fosters resilience. By emphasizing support and authenticity, couples can withstand external pressures, emerging stronger and more united. Building a relationship on empathy and shared growth paves the way for enduring intimacy and fulfillment. Today's relationships often grapple with high expectations, driven by romantic ideals of perfect love. Stripping away these unrealistic aspirations can help cultivate a more genuine connection. Love's historical evolution reveals a shift from economic-based marriages to partnerships based on love and equality, presenting opportunities and challenges alike. Fostering realistic expectations can shield relationships from dissatisfaction. Embracing imperfections while celebrating shared victories fosters lasting intimacy. By focusing on equality and mutual respect, modern relationships can transform pressures into opportunities for deeper connection, paving the path for enduring love. Social psychology captivates with its exploration of fundamental human experiences, such as love, aggression, and social influence. Originally drawn by curiosity, many scholars realize that they can contribute more than simply absorbing information. They can engage in creating vital knowledge. This discipline expands its reach beyond interested students, encouraging all to adopt a scientific mindset. It suggests applying this thinking to everyday situations, like evaluating the impact of educational programs in prisons, where empirical data replaces anecdotal evidence. The heartwarming stories are tempting, yet a scientific scrutiny often reveals a more nuanced picture, pushing us to question preconceptions with evidence-based evaluations. The scientific method serves as a reliable tool in social psychology, fostering curiosity and rigorous examination. It begins with observation, followed by hypothesizing, testing, and verifying or dismissing theories through structured experiments. While it originated in natural sciences, its application to social behaviors, like studying the effects of mood on social interactions, highlights its versatility. The key to scientific progress lies not in the popularity of a hypothesis, but in its ability to withstand or falter under scrutiny. This objective pursuit of truth strips away biases, promoting a clearer understanding of the world, whether in physical or social contexts. Social psychology beautifully marries the realms of art and science. It requires a scientific approach to understand human emotions, behaviors, and societal trends, alongside an artistic flair to design engaging and impactful experiments. This is especially true because the subjects, humans, are complex, with their pre-existing worldviews and emotions influencing their actions. The challenge lies in crafting experiments that are valid and reliable, yet embrace the sophisticated nature of human behavior, making the results both meaningful and accurate. Creativity thus becomes an essential component, enabling researchers to navigate and reveal the intricate layers of the human psyche. Relying merely on speculation renders understanding limited and sometimes misguided. To move beyond this, scientists design experiments that mimic curious phenomena from real life, like the boost in approval ratings for a political figure post-blunder. By isolating certain variables, researchers recreate situations in a controlled environment, enabling them to test hypotheses rigorously. The experiments reveal whether perceived correlations, such as blunders increasing popularity under specific conditions, hold true. It highlights the importance of converting assumptions into tangible experiments that can be systematically tested, offering insights into the subtleties underlying human interactions and emotions. Experimentation in social psychology involves unique obstacles. Researchers strive for experimental control and validity, yet humans, unlike elements in a chemical reaction, bring individual differences into the lab. Truly insightful studies achieve a balance, involving participants meaningfully while maintaining necessary control. This could involve seemingly artificial settings that, while lacking mundane realism, like everyday scenarios, possess significant experimental realism, immersing participants meaningfully. Achieving this blend allows researchers to draw impactful and relevant conclusions, advancing understanding while respecting the natural diversity of human responses. These rigorous yet imaginative designs ensure experiments reflect insightful realities of human behavior. Critics often argue that laboratory experiments fail to truly reflect real-world interactions, claiming they are too artificial. However, such critiques miss the distinction between mundane and experimental realism. An experiment may lack everyday likeness, but still engage participants deeply, as shown in studies like Stanley Milgram's experiments on obedience. Although seemingly contrived, the extreme discomfort participants felt highlighted genuine psychological processes. This depth of engagement ensures that findings are applicable to real-life situations, showing that even controlled settings without direct real-world parallels can reveal profound truths about human nature. Ethics is a top priority in social psychology. Using deception, although effective, poses moral challenges, including potential breaches of trust and privacy. Yet without such practices, understanding complex behaviors might remain out of reach. Balancing ethical considerations, researchers strive to ensure participant well-being, offering thorough debriefing sessions after experiments. This process respects participants' dignity, clarifying the purpose of their involvement, and ensuring they leave with deeper insights into human behavior. Although challenging, this ethical balance allows significant scientific advances without compromising the rights and respect of individuals, highlighting the moral responsibility inherent in this field. Replication fortifies the credibility of psychological findings by confirming results across diverse contexts. It's essential in proving the robustness and generalizability of experimental outcomes. However, replication can be challenging, partly due to the unique blend of artistry and scientific technique required to recreate original experiments. Sometimes failed replications provide new insights, revealing overlooked factors that were crucial in the original studies. Despite hurdles, replication remains vital in distinguishing between true phenomena and flukes. It emphasizes a self-correcting scientific process, ensuring the continuous refinement and validation of psychological theories to uphold empirical integrity and illuminate human behavior. Ethical considerations in social psychology often involve weighing the potential harm against the benefits to knowledge and society. Researchers must ensure participant welfare, avoiding unnecessary distress. Whenever possible, ethical dilemmas are addressed through careful debriefing and transparent conversations, ensuring participants understand the research's value and their role. Despite controversies, such as those surrounding Milgram's obedience studies, ethical experimentation remains indispensable. Social psychologists continually refine methods to balance ethical considerations and research goals, underscoring a moral commitment to advancing understanding with sensitivity and respect for human dignity. The insights gained from social psychology offer powerful tools that can be used for both good and ill. It's imperative for psychologists to use their knowledge responsibly, advocating for its use in constructive ways like reducing prejudice, while remaining vigilant against its misuse, such as in manipulation by demagogues. Understanding human behavior doesn't absolve responsibility, but heightens it. Psychologists must educate others about potential applications, promote ethical use, and continuously aim to add to the collective understanding of human behavior. Thus, social psychology not only aims to uncover truths, but also to contribute positively to society.